Good day, everyone. It is an honor and privilege to express my moral responsibility of sharing the wisdom behind my experiences as a global math citizen and somehow a novice mathematician. My name is Anowen Joy E. Ravasho. Currently, I am pursuing self-directed academic goals to respond to the scarcity of math teachers in our academic communities here in Cebu. Here are my academic goals. I'm gonna do deep study and write workbooks as an output for each math textbook of the 18-month areas mandated by PRC for BS Math and BS Statistics graduates who would like to pursue the vocation of teaching and be licensed as mandated by the government. Then I'll do my LET review, take up LET, be a licensed teacher, and then be an active math citizen on YouTube as a knowledge worker. So why not skip the 18 core math subjects and become a YouTube knowledge worker right away? I am a pure traditionalist. I understand the essence of earning credibility as a fellow. What do I mean? There is a rigid and spoken rule in higher education. Earning a title position is about learning to think like a scientist through the lens of rationalism. It's either you have it or you don't. It's either you are rational or not yet. Either you think like us or not yet. So why am I not returning to the corporate world, not becoming a call center agent again? This question is deeply personal. Man does not live by bread alone, but by the word of God. If I could turn back time and not have found Christ and the discipline of reading, research writing, journaling, and deep study as a sieve of character and divinity, I would have simply done what pleases the majority, family, friends, and society. But I choose to be more human, more divine. I love who I am now, no matter how little I have in material things, luxury, and privileges. At the risk of sounding like a priest or moralist, I pray that each of you may also experience the fullness of being human, after quenching the temporal thirst for professional education through corporate and business experiences. Being a mathematician brings out the philosopher in us, because we love truths. So I wish and pray that hopefully each one of you will be given the time and resources toward the cultivation of holistic education determined by discovered philosophies in life. Each one of you is the author of your own life story. Here are the themes of my lecture. We have the rationalism versus empiricism, moralism towards holistic education. So let's be guided by these opening questions. Why should a mathematician care about humanity? Is mathematics merely technical, or is it formative of character and conscience? Where do we derive wisdom? Let me answer this question by saying necessity is the mother of all inventions. Relationships, like being a mom and wife, and yet these are just limiting archetypes. Women are more than these. Hence, there are other strong teachers like the church and spiritual community, heartbreak and discomfort, lifelong study, nothingness and suffering, hedonism and its dark limits, the poor and the marginalized, nature and life itself. I lost my BPO job after the pandemic. I nursed my mom in the COVID ward and discovered there is more in life, such as the love of psychology, philosophy, and theology, that would allow us to be a healer, a friend, a teacher, and a role model. I truly have a lot in life by having less. I sound like a priest and moralist again, it's okay. I just found eternal truths revealed by God. Let us now answer the opening question by reviewing the high-level concepts and highlights of rationalism, empiricism, moralism, and holistic education, but drawing out personal context in each theme. Let us experience the following. We have the active learning, Socratic method, retrieval practice, flip, classroom strategy, and constructivist teaching. I hope you have read the handouts and watched my video lessons on the themes of rationalism and empiricism, moralism towards holistic education. My intention for this lecture is to cultivate a deeper passion for teaching this 21st century, where mathematicians are equipped with strong skills in coding, programming, and data analysis, and are firmly grounded in rationalist thinking. Our country needs math teachers who can rise to this standard, not only technically competent, but intellectually disciplined, spiritually and morally formed. We need educators who can help bring back a strong math culture in our society. Mathematics is not just about numbers or technology. It is about loving truth, thinking clearly, and forming the mind with integrity. Teaching, therefore, is not just a career. It is a vocation. This lecture is only a glimpse of professional education. I encourage you to pursue further formation, such as a diploma in professional education, because you deserve to be fully formed, not just in knowledge, but as moral, responsible, and whole educators. Mathematics as a discipline of truth. Each archetype brings a unique lens to perceiving truth. A politician, an artisan, a parent, a teacher, each interprets reality through the priorities and values of their role. In contrast, mathematics trains us to perceive truth differently. We are conditioned to seek authoritative, formal, internal truths. As mathematicians and rationalists, we are not in popularity contest. The validity of a theorem, proof, and mathematical principle does not depend on consensus or social approval. Instead, it depends on reason, logic, and universal principles. These truths are eternal, and in a sense divine, independent of opinion or perception. This highlights three key points. Our responsibility as experts to honor truth over convenience, intuition, or popularity. The moral dimension of our discipline to teach and share these truths faithfully, forming others in disciplined reasoning. Next, the interplay with archetypes. While we may adopt other archetypal roles in life, mathematics trains us to see beyond subjective interpretation, cultivating a rigor that is both intellectual and ethical. In short, mathematics is a training in perceiving the universal, the timeless, and the divinely rational, distinct from the personal and socially constructed truths associated with other archetypes. Hence, precision as an ethical act. In a philosophical and theological perspective, we can focus here on the nobility of precision, most especially in being scientists, math teachers, and math writers. This is not to feel elitist, and as assessed, rationalism when expressed in extreme tends to be elitist. But what I am presenting here is that all of us mathematicians and statisticians deserve the formation and vocation of being a teacher, because math is a very noble subject. The priests and scribes in the past are astronomers and mathematicians. The three wise men can be considered as mathematicians as astronomers. Hence, Jesus Christ, the Bethlehem star, is mathematical to me. His birth is holy as the Anointed One, because his birth is astronomical. And yes, Jesus Christ, as a reformist, knows that he was born to be killed. The ministry of Jesus Christ is so dear to me as a woman in the field of mathematics. As a chaste celibate, I walk the path of Hypatia with courage, and yet I listen, because no explanation is possible for a person without faith. Silence is precision enough, because we just let our role modeling do the evangelizing. As a way of life, logical coherence and intellectual honesty, humility before contradiction, are virtues that will not make us rich, famous, or powerful. We cannot serve two masters at the same time. In the field or in the classrooms, I commonly hear the sentiment that teachers these days are not valued and respected, most especially by parents. Let me relate this to art appreciation. One cannot appreciate the painting when one has not experienced the journey of creating an art piece. The same goes for athletes, musicians, and other crafts. It takes experience and faith in education and teaching in order to appreciate a priest, nun, and teachers. We mathematicians and statisticians deserve to be at the Brahmin status of society, because new discoveries, new curriculum, new truths, new knowledge, and new ways of problem solving depend on having a robust talent of math rationalists who are also licensed teachers. Now, let us have a glimpse of UNESCO's 5 pillars of education. We have learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, learning to be, and learning to transform oneself and society. Learning is a sieve. Living, just like any task, must be done with intention. Intentional living takes a lot of knowing oneself. Being rationalists and scientists, we are trained to be so technical and are inclined toward hard corporate skills. There's more in learning to know and learning to do. So utilitarian. Please take it from me. I have served the country by being an honest taxpayer, boxing myself into corporate temporal aspirations simply because I am surviving. I have a family to raise. I have a husband to love, care for, and support. But deep inside our hearts, my talented husband and I are born to be academic babies. My husband's rationalist and scientific nature is just being well loved by banks abroad and locally, and I support him for it. At the end of the day, no matter how family and clannish we can be, I always tell my children that they have lives and stories of their own making, as a discovery and revelation of God. After teaching in the field as a tutor and after taking care of my mother, I realized there is a lot in myself that I need to listen to, such as psychology, philosophy, theology. This is for the learning to be dimension of education. Nothingness taught me to be compassionate to oneself and to others, and to be sensitive to the different archetypes. Here is a table of archetypes one can reflect on for the dimension of learning to live together, learning to transform oneself and society. Please read through the slide and reflect on your own wavelength for each archetype and the wavelength of others close to you. Awareness of these various archetypes will allow us to be sensitive to the truths and the kinds of faiths that each one accepts, lives by, and proclaims. Since these archetypes are summarized by ChatGPT, I encourage everyone to take time to get verification and validation from these various references and be sieved by each reading material. There is indeed character formation through mathematics. Being part of the global math citizenship is by nature bringing us to the tribe of problem solvers. We are just so patient and curious to do everything for the joy of getting it right. I am a palarong pambansa player in volleyball because I love challenges and play. Because I am a mathematician, strategic and technical in winning games, and solving the problem of making or scoring a point. With mathematics, we're exposing our brains for neuroplasticity, for cognitive endurance in abstract reasoning and symbolic interpretation. Being a mathematician is not for everyone. Some brains are wired for alphabet reading and not on decoding, decrypting, pattern recognition, scientific rigor, and numerical analysis. Not all people are rationalists like us. For rationalist mathematicians, alphabet reading can be boring. Yet, let's face it, in the age of AI, being a mathematician, statistician, and computer programmer is always under threat. But always remember that our Filipino learners do not deserve to be hominoids who would rely heavily on AIs as tutors, and Filipinos do not need to rely heavily on foreign YouTube knowledge workers for mathematics content.